good.
Okay.
Okay.
Ha.
Okay, you come to me? Yeah. You gonna come to me? Hi, you watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Okay. There you go. Ready?
Hi, you watching Dante Boxing Nation.
There you go. It's good, but it's a little too dark from, let me see. Let's try this from this angle. Come this way. Couldn't see your face when you come here. Okay, there, better.
Okay.
All right, ready? Go ahead.
Hi, you watching Dante Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So leading up to the George Kambosos versus Devin Haney fight, George Kambosos, he continued to say that he's going to get Devin Haney out the way, and then him and the real champion Lomachenko, they can fight. This is what George Kambosos said while he was promoting the Devin Haney fight to further disrespect Devin Haney. So now the good news for George Kambosos, he's been wanting to fight Lomachenko all this time, and now we can have the battle of the losers fighting against each other. Now George Kambosos can go ahead and still fight Lomachenko, and it will still be a great match. We can have Teofimo Lopez versus Romero, or however you want to mix and match. Now, I know Teofimo Lopez is moving up to 140, but that would still be a great match if he fought Romero. We also have Pitbull Cruz, Isaac Cruz in the mix. And let me tell you, Isaac Cruz is going to be hard for anybody to beat. Can you guys imagine Isaac Cruz versus Lomachenko or any of these guys? But the first fight that came to mind was Lomachenko versus Cruz because it reminds me of the Lomachenko versus the Orlando Salido fight. The first person that beat Lomachenko, and Lomachenko, he never avenged that loss. Well, this is Lomachenko's opportunity to fight a style similar to Orlando Salido, but a fighter who's actually better than Salido was. Because Cruz is definitely a very dangerous fighter. His defense is way better than Salido's, and he has a higher boxing IQ. Cruz has actually mastered the art of getting close to you and hitting you while not getting hit. He dives under your punches, and while you're trying to punch down at him, he's bobbing and weaving, going underwater and coming out of the water like a shark and catching you with counter punches. So all of these would be great matches. This would pretty much be like the Biggest Loser tournament. And as crazy as that sounds, when Floyd Mayweather was still Pretty Boy, we seen a lot of these type of Big Loser tournaments where a lot of Floyd Mayweather's opponents that he had beat previously, they end up fighting against each other and produce great matchups like Diego Corrales versus Castillo. That first fight turned out to be one of the greatest fights of all time. So all of these potential matchups would be big fights in the sport of boxing. I mean, instead of George Kambosos pursuing a rematch with Devin Haney, once again, since he kept talking about how he wanted to fight Lomachenko so bad, well, Lomachenko has announced that he's returning to the ring in October, coincidentally the same month that Devin Haney has already announced his return. So it makes more sense for George Kambosos to take the Lomachenko fight instead of losing a second time to Devin Haney, which he will for sure. Now, the one fight that we would all rather see instead of Kambosos versus Lomachenko would obviously be Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. But I highly doubt Lomachenko would take a fight like that when Devin Haney is the man that forced Lomachenko to surrender his belt. Lomachenko vacated his belt rather than fight his mandatory, who was 20 years old at the time, Devin Haney. So it's hard to believe that if he wouldn't fight him at age 20, He's not going to fight him at 23, especially after a long layoff. I'd be extremely surprised if Lomachenko takes that fight. But that is the fight that Bob Arum wants to make. Bob wants to make that fight now, so anything is possible. I told you guys before, this is the reason why it was so important for Devin Haney to do whatever it took to make this fight with George Kambosos. Because once he takes all of the belts, he has leverage over everyone, and it puts way more pressure on everyone in the lightweight division to either take the Devin Haney fight or take a fight just as dangerous. And that's what we're seeing with Ryan Garcia right now. Ryan Garcia, he's in a situation where if he's not going to fight Devin Haney for all the belts, then he would have to fight someone like Gervonta Tank Davis, which according to Ryan Garcia is going to be his next opponent, assuming he gets past Fortuna. The only way Ryan Garcia can justify not fighting the undisputed champion Devin Haney is if he's going to fight against Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, even though it's hard to believe that Ryan Garcia can end up looking worse than he already looks now, it's very possible that Ryan could end up looking worse if once again he doesn't take the Gervonta fight or the Devin Haney fight, assuming once again he gets past Fortuna, which is no guarantee. Devin Haney's win over George Kambosos also put a lot of pressure on Lomachenko, because Lomachenko already said he's not moving down to 130. He wanted to win all his belts back, but now that Devin Haney has beat George Kambosos for all of the belts, there's nowhere else for Lomachenko to go but up. And up means you have to fight Devin Haney, or once again, you can fight one of the other losers. The crazy thing is, all of these guys you're looking at on the screen right now, they all avoided Devin Haney. So now they're made for each other. I'm telling you guys right now, these are the fights that the matchmakers need to be looking at right now. These are the fights that make the most sense. Let's get the Biggest Loser tournament started. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram.
How has this changed your life, man?
It's been good. It's been good. I feel younger, I look younger. Picking up the younger girls. I just kidding, scratch that, but it's been good. It's been good. I like the look. I like the feel. I feel more confident now. It was money well spent.
Now, in terms of the response, what has been people said, like, as people being like, hey, what do you have on your head, or things like that sort?
The most response I get is like, yo, what barber you go to? Or they get, such a close shave with, everything lined up, so sharp and everything. And, then I go into explaining to them the procedure, what it had done and everything, They're always like, I would never done if we didn't come.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.